Alright, so a few of you are asking what my name is. Well, my name's Dylan. Like Bob Dylan or Matt Dylan or Marshall Dylan, I don't know. Lots of different names, but... And my father's name is Brian, if any of you are interested in that. But I'm here at the off-grid property. You can see we finally got her plowed out. Buddy came with the backhoe there the other day and finally got her. I'm hoping I can make it up the hill here. We'll see what happens. That could be interesting. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. This is why four-wheel drive's essential when you live off the grid. But let's see, there's my old tractor. I'm actually, one of the reasons I'm coming up here is to get a crowbar so I can fix that. I'll just friggin'... I'll just park here. Very good. So yeah, here I am. My tractor's looking pretty sorry right now. So we finally got dug out. Sorry, I had to make sure my dinger wasn't dinging. We finally got dug out to the shed there. We got the wood yard dug back out. It's a little rubber. We got the wood yard dug out here. Logs we were going to mill. We're just going to cut up for firewood because getting a little low. Got a path out to this shed. Paths everywhere. You know how it goes. Winter time and all. And of course tomorrow we're supposed to get another, what is it, 6 inches or so, 4 to 6 inches. So that's just great. Be back up and have close to what it used to be before it was plowed out. It'll be hard to get back here again. But the woodshed's not looking so good this year. We gotta go out this weekend. That's all we got left. So gotta get to work. Get to work. Light's actually staying off during the day. That's better than it was. I don't know where to hold my camera here. I'm getting dripped on. But yeah, somebody asked me in one of the videos if I could show my place. Which actually, I guess you could classify it as a tiny home. I mean, it's only 12 by 16. The only thing is it's 3 stories high. And I have more damage. Anyways, I guess I'll show you. I do have other videos of this place. I call it Shackus Maximus. I've been building it since 2009 or 2008, I think now. It's been up for a while. But, well, that's when I was building it and started going up and up and up and didn't stop. But this is fresh. Up there you can see those fresh marks there where there used to be boards. It's fairly recent those got peeled off. I never noticed that. I haven't been down here enough, but I did shovel a path last time I was here. I guess it's because I knew I was going to do this video. But this place I learned a lot. Let me tell you, I learned a lot. I learned quite a bit about construction. Well, carpentry I should say. I already knew a lot about construction, but I'm starting to think that stovepipe's seen better days. I haven't used it, but it's looking pretty rough. I have to replace some of it every couple of years usually. So far anyways. My biggest mistake I made with this place was I tried to put it on old sonotubes and, well, as you can see, I didn't even line it up right. Just kind of barely caught them. But that's okay actually, because I don't know if you'll be able to see under here, but there's cross braces everywhere. Other posts I actually put in, whoa, extreme close up. 1 second here. There we go. I actually put in supports, like little posts, and trying to think here, sidewalk pavers. I put in sidewalk pavers to set those posts on because I didn't want to dig it out. I just leveled as best I could under them. And Seems to hold up fine. A couple of them cracked, but that's no big surprise. Anyways, some of you are already familiar with this place, so a lot of this won't be new to you, but anybody who hasn't seen it, this is my stove. It's a Carmore. Great old stove. Top loader. It's got these two vents on either side. When this thing burns, it burns like a friggin' jet. You can actually hear it burn. It's a great little stove, I must say. Well, it's actually a fairly large stove. And I have it on like a 1/2 inch thick piece of deck steel or deck plate from a boat by the looks of it. I don't exactly know. It came with the stove and looks good to me. It's nice and solid. So no worries about burning through the floor, that's for sure. Downstairs you might notice some of these boards look kind of old and grainy. Well, I actually tore down a barn, and that's what got me started building this place. You can see these boards are the barn bits. And this is what I saved. I thought this was the coolest thing in the barn. This right here. Some ants got in there, and I peeled 2 boards apart, and that's what I saw in the middle. So I kept it. Before I had this place fully insulated, I had problems with squirrels. I learned very quickly, easy way to deal with them is 1/4 inch mesh. If you've ever used it, it's just like a tiny 1/4 inch hole. Anyways, that kept them out. I haven't had a problem with them ever since. As you can see, I got a set of snowshoes there in the wall. Another set over there. They're just kind of decoration. A mess of wiring up here. I used the wrong gauge wire. I know it's 220 heater wire, but it was all I had, and I wanted to have power down here so I could run the lights and stuff. So I actually have everything hooked up. So when everything's hooked up, you can turn that switch and turn it on and off. Also, you notice there's DC wires going there. I do have this DC because this is actually out of a camper, out of the trailer outside. I stole that out of the trailer, so I could have DC light or AC light. And then I got a switch over here. I can't remember, I think that was the main switch. I've changed this place around about 5 different times over the years. Up in here is actually my fuse box. And they're not much for fuses, but don't need much. Oh, good to know my handle's up there. Oh, it's another handle. Huh. Would you look at that? I got 2. Years ago when I first got the stove, I couldn't find one. Here's another quick thing too. Well, the stairs. These are from the old Zellers that I used to, well, the building I used to work in. They moved out. And these were some roll-around stairs that they used for getting stock off high shelves. Well, I robbed them, I cut the back off them, I cut the railing off them, and they're literally just held there, just by that 2x4, and they're sitting on these boards here. One of these days I'll get around to securing it. They fell down on me once when I was going up them, but it was no big deal. They just kind of fall down. As long as I don't smash out the window or anything, it's nothing too big of a deal. Figured I needed a railing, so I cut down this little birch tree. It works. Anyways, moving up here. The only thing I don't like about these steps, they're very noisy. But you don't have to worry about people sneaking up on you. So here's the upstairs. Anybody need any carpet tile? My old job, they tore these up. I sold most of them. I had about 4 stacks that size. They're great things. They come in handy. You can build a mat with 4 of them and a couple pieces of duct tape in about a minute. You can carpet. I was got a carpet up here with them, and I may still yet. I don't know what I'm doing with them. But they're handy to have. But as you see, it's all insulated up here too. Up here as well, I use some more of the barn board. I'm actually going to have to look into something. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of moisture in the wall here. And I might have a leak somewhere. Might be this window. I'll have to check that out next time it's warm and wet. I've got a few different spots that are damp. Not surprising this time of year though. Up here is all insulated. I never did get around to vapor barriering yet. I have it, I just gotta get around and get up there and do it. As you can see, this is just the storage area up here for the most part. The wires coming down over there for the solar panels. A couple of pieces keep falling out, but whatever. No biggie. Right now, this is my system. It's nothing major. Well, actually, a lot of it's been disconnected, and I haven't been using my system, as you might remember from my other one of my other videos. I said that I disconnected my panel up here, which I did. This is the extension cord that runs from the generator shed right there. It runs all the way right to there, and then that goes up to my solar panel and up through the roof. And that wire, actually, I just put an end on it because that was the wire I had hooked to my panel. I find when you're in a pinch, extension cords are pretty good, you know, fairly heavy gauge wire for doing that kind of thing. You know, running smaller solar panels and whatnot. But I decided that I wouldn't disconnect my other panels, use those to keep the one battery up. I don't even know how good that battery is. It's probably sulfated to hell by now, but because I never use it. What was I going to say? But yeah, I do have a little charge controller. It's a Canadian Tire Jobby. It's kind of funny. It's just a little 105 watt 7 amp, very simple charge controller. I had it hooked up when I had my panel, which is 100 watts, and then well, actually I just used it for that mostly, but I did have the other two panels, which are these two wires, the two black wires here, and right now they're hooked together and actually hooked to the charge controller, and the charge controller is hooked to the battery, which is hooked to jumper cables that don't go anywhere. They usually would hook up to another battery. I had 3 of them here all hooked together with a couple pairs of jumper cables, but the other batteries are being used for other things right now. Just trying to think, actually. There's the one in the tractor, there's one in my Kia. There was another one. What did I do with that? I think I sold it. Can't remember, boys. Doesn't matter, I got another one up in my truck, up at the house there. I'll bring that over one of these days, and you know, one of these days I'll actually get the system up and running again. You can see there, that's the plug for downstairs. There was an actual plug on that, but I stole it and put it on there for the extension cord for the solar panel. And then up here, this is just another light I stole out of the trailer. It's got a 12 volt bulb, and it's also got a you know, 120 volt, and it's plugged into a power bar there, and that power bar is hooked to an inverter, which is right there. Little 400 watt jobby, works pretty good, a lot better than the other. I had a 600 watt crappy one. Well, I call it crappy because it's from Canadian Tire, but it was a piece of crap too. Turned out that the power button broke and I couldn't turn it on anymore, and I didn't have the receipt, so I had to throw it out. It might be still kicking around, but I think I just got rid of it, because what are you going to do with an inverter you can't turn on? Ooh, fly! The old truck sitting out there. Get into that in the spring. The treehouse. Might take a... We'll see in the spring. If it seems safe enough, I'll go up there and maybe even do some video. But I have a backup light over here, you know, if I ever need it. I got a kerosene lamp. I don't know if there's any kerosene. I can't remember if that's kerosene. There's something in it. I think that's kerosene. Anyways, I haven't broke it yet, so not too badly. I think I chipped it. If I remember correctly, there's a little hole in the chimney, but shit happens. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, here's the 1/4 inch mesh I was talking about. If I can reach it. Yeah, this stuff. This stuff is perfect. You want to keep rodents out? Unless they're little baby pinkies, they can't get through this. I can't even stick my pinky through it. This is what you want. Ain't no squirrel or rat or nothing gonna chew through this stuff. They say rats will chew through lots of stuff, but every time I've put this in their way, they've never gotten through it, so it works. But that was basically what I did. I just cut up little pieces like that, stuffed them at the end of my eaves before I insulated, and put in true vents, because I didn't want them getting up into my insulation more than they already did, because I had to tear most of the insulation. I had this place half insulated downstairs, and I had to tear it all out and start over again, because the squirrels had got in here and tore it all apart, and you know what they do, they, you know, just destroy the stuff. So anyways, the other thing, a lot of this insulation is also salvaged insulation. My old job, they used to get a lot of stuff just thrown out when they tear out an office and rebuild them. They just take the insulation and toss it, and a lot of it was just R12, you know, but you double that up and you get R20 or R24, so you know, maybe it's only R20, I don't know. I don't know really how much that kind of stuff matters, but I know this place stays nice and warm if you know, I want it to. There's definitely something going on there. I'm gonna have to look into that and see some more mess behind the vapor barrier. Some dampness. I think these windows are leaking. It doesn't surprise me. I need to actually get my shit together and get back into this place. I haven't done anything in this place in a year. I haven't even slept a night in here, I think, in a year now. I think it's been that long. Yeah, there's one time last winter I stayed here overnight, and that was it. So it's pretty sad, really. You know, I built this place. I should use it. Right now, it's just a big storage room. But get this cabinet here. It's kind of nice. It's actually, like, you know, a couch here, and blankets and stuff. This is actually, I had a cold room in my house, and I tore it out because there was a leak behind it. And there was all this insulation, so I took it out as best I could without breaking it up too bad. And I'm going to take as much as I can of it and stuff it under the floor here, I think. Anyways, that's the plan, to help insulate the floor. But that'll be another day. I do have plans for water as well. This sink is not hooked up yet, but I got some of the pipe there. I got to buy a couple pieces, and then at least I can have a sink that goes out of the building. Mind you, it'll just go on the ground for now, but that's okay if you're just dumping water in there. I have a wood pile here, but that's probably going to end up getting burned this spring, because you can see the wood's just, it's not fit for burning really. It's all punky and rotten, so that's no good. But under these trees and all this snow right in this area here is actually a water line that you see, years ago in the year 2000 I actually had this land cleared by my boss at the time, who owned a backhoe, and that's when I poured these sonotubes under the building. And whoa, jeez, hard to walk right now. But yeah, that's when I poured these sonotubes. So they sat here from then, well, 10 years basically, and then I finally built the building on top of them. And she's tall. She's 26 feet from the top corner there right to the ground. But anyways, yeah, there's a 10-year gap between that. But in, I can't remember, the early 2000s was when my father had his well dug and septic put in. And when he did, he had them run an extra line off that's actually run into his basement and runs underground to right about here. And then I got to dig a small trench from there over there, run it into the house, connect it up in his house, and I'll have water. Well, I'll be tapped into his water, and then hopefully put, my plan is just to put a hand crank pump in there, so then I actually have running water, somewhat anyways. Can't go very far, but it's a good start. There's the well again over there. I'll just kind of pan back, or just kind of pan around for you guys, so you kind of get the feel. This place isn't that big, so you get used to it pretty quick. Them trees. Back to the camp. So yeah, I built that camp. Well, I'd say all said and done, including everything, the wood stove, the chimney to hook the wood stove up, all the tar paper, all the insulation, all the vapor barrier, all the wood, the solar panels, the wire, the this, that, you know, the roofing, and I can't even think of the nails and all that. I'm into that place for about altogether probably, I figure, about $3 grand. You gotta expect to spend about that much when you're gonna build a place, if you want to build it right. I mean, I did actually overbuild that place slightly. I meant to mention that, but the basement, or not the basement, but the main level is all 2x6s. It could be done with 2x4s. I used 16-inch centers on everything, or better. So, you know, at my biggest span is 16-inch, except for across my floors. And I do have plans to actually put in some X-braces in the floor joists, so that you know, it solidifies everything there and stuff. But it's not a very high priority right now, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, if you want to build a good place for cheap, and I mean, it would be more expensive. I mean, for the average person to do it, to go and buy everything, you know, and do it that way, you'd probably be looking more like $5 grand for a building like that. And that's just to that stage. But, you know, I got the roofing for $100, all of it, even more than what I needed, actually. And to buy it, it would have been about $400. I, you know, added all that barn board in. That barn board, you know, probably was another $200-300 or more worth of lumber. You know, the stove was $100, which wasn't too bad. It was a pretty good deal. You know, the hangers you might notice there for the chimney. Luckily, those were here. The windows were here. The doors and everything were all free. The stairs were free. There's all kinds of free wood besides the barn wood that I use for this, that, and the other thing in there too. So, you know, it adds up. That's for sure. What actually surprised me the most was how much screws and nails add up. Oh yeah, I forgot about the laths too. There's the lath board. You see, you think about it, you're like, geez, all I need is a couple of boards and, you know, I'm off to the races. But you got to realize, you know, you need boards, you need things to fasten the boards together, you got to cut those boards, you know. It's a lot of work. You know, I mean, that was a small place, and it took quite a while, actually. Mostly it was me and 2 other friends that did it. And it basically took about a year before it was roof tight and everything. I actually have pictures from varying stages of construction, as well as some videos from way back when. We actually used to stay in there before there was a roof, because back in the day we were staying in this trailer. My buddy bought this thinking it would be a great idea for when we come down here. We can just stay in there in the winter and whatever, right? Well, we did, and we used to use propane heater or any other friggin' heater we could find to try to keep it warm in there. Propane, kerosene, whatever. But, you gas yourself out. You know, we get woke up with headaches all the time because, you know, you can't really run those things. We would asphyxiate ourselves, except for the fact that that camper has no insulation. Well, I think it has like literally a 1/4 inch thick insulation, if that. Other than that, I mean, there's vents all over the place that are open from where this, that, and the other thing were. When we got it, it had already been gutted for all the furnace was gone, and all the propane accessories, you know, the fridge, the furnace, the heater, or, well, I guess that would be the furnace, the hot water heater. The bathroom was completely gutted, and a hole in the roof, so that was half rotten. We didn't even go in there. So right there, you know, that made that place really crappy little spot. And once we got this half built, well, we had a wood stove in there, and we could actually have a fire in the wood stove, so it was warmer in there than it was in the trailer, so we moved over to here. The problem was we had no roof. So at first I put a tarp up there, and it's in one of my videos. I bought one of them cheap blue tarps. Word of advice, don't buy one. You'd have better luck buying screen door screen than putting it over your roof. Seriously. It did not do a thing. Like, it might work if it's raised up in the air a bit, but if it's touching anything, it's like a tent. It just wicks right through. And I think it actually made it worse. So that was only up there for a few weeks. Tore that off, and then ended up underneath of that. I had a big roll of plastic then, so I actually vapor barriered the whole roof, and then made it all drain to one end, down this end here, and put a bucket there, and we'd be, you know, dumping the bucket every so often. It was kind of funny, actually. We'd get a fire going, and then it would start raining inside. But most of that place didn't have power a lot of the time. We'd use flashlights, whatever, you know. Usually we just go in there to sleep, so it wasn't that big of a, you know, a deal, I guess. Not that big of a deal to not have anything in there. But then over time it was like, you know, well, I'd like to have a light, and I'd like to have some entertainment, some music. We used to use ghetto blasters and stuff, but they ended up getting all broke, and, you know, it just happens. Anyways, so yeah, it's a winter wonderland here still, like I said. We got a lot of snow still down. I don't know if you realize how big some of these banks are, but that bank there, it's about 4 feet. Yeah, almost 4 feet tall, so that's pretty tall for a bank of snow around here, that's for sure. More snow this year than last year, hard to believe, but you can see over there too, that's a pretty big bank. But anyways, I just thought I'd give you guys an off-grid update. Look at that icicle. I thought I'd give you an off-grid update. Like I said, I'm going to start doing these off-grid videos weekly. Feel free, again, to, I know a few of you already have, but feel free to ask anything that you might want to see, or, you know, feel free to comment, of course, on anything. But if, you know, there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, please let me know, and I'll do my best to facilitate your desires. Otherwise, like I said, some people have mentioned some things they'd like to see video of, so I will be doing some more videos shortly of that kind of stuff. And again, there's still our series that we're going to do with this stuff. God knows when that's going to happen. Oh, there, you can see. Still fairly nice out. It's about an hour or so from sunset, so, well, yeah, more or less. Surprising that light's coming on that early, but it's nice and bright anyways. At least the panel's working. But anyways, people, I guess a lot of video here, and most of it's just me rambling, but hopefully that answers some questions about you guys wondering about the old shack here. Like I said, it's called Shackus Maximus. This video will actually be part of a playlist, which is, well, actually no, this will be on the off-grid playlist. So it won't be the Shackus Maximus playlist, but if you look on my channel, there is a it's hard to say that a bunch of times, you know. But there is a Shackus Maximus playlist, And if you would like to go check that out, feel free. And unfortunately, the videos aren't the best quality, but you know, they are what they are. I had a crappy camera at the time, so it is what it is. Anyways, boys, till next time, have fun and enjoy living off-grid if you do. If not, and you like off-grid, well, hopefully someday you get there. Talk to you all later.